Mamma mia. On this game. Low damage, am I right or am I right? Anyways, shall we continue? Yeah, baby. Wow. Yo, what's up?
おい、トア、起きろ。
Check something. Oh, come on. Oh. A little loud.
スローダメージ。
Holy shit. Should be okay. Let's see. A little loud. Oh, I'm just a little quiet. Just a tiny bit. Okay, there we go. Should be okay. Should be okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. And also, as you can see on the screen, I have a guest. My surgical assistant, Miss Sophia. She'll make sounds when she wants to, but she's mostly here to observe. And she's tiny, baby, and cute. I don't think I'll be doing much voices. Because for Taku, I'm just using my normal voice. And Toa's just like tired and whispery, you know. Let me. Oh, it burns. Okay. The next morning, Taku shook me awake and drove me to the charity event. Today, he'd actually overslept for once, so when he came to get me, he was rougher than usual. Little loud.
最近忙しいからな。
I've just been so busy, you know. Muttering under his breath, he drove at the maximum speed limit, and we arrived at the church 20 minutes later. Amen. That doesn't look like a cathedral, that looks like a normal church. I'm disappointed. It was formerly known as the Shinkomi Cathedral, but most call it the church. It was located in an upscale neighborhood on the outskirts of District C. After we came to a stop in the parking lot, Taku got out and helped me out of the car. The ground was wet, and the air was humid. It must have rained at some point early in the morning. Across the river, we could see District D. Ironically, this was the only remaining connection between the upper and lower class. Not sure if it's ironic. The charity event was basically a flea market where the church took donated goods and sold them. There were food and drink stands and even a gospel choir performance. Oh! All proceeds were donated to the local welfare facilities. A row of portable canopies had been set up out front, with tables full of wares beneath them. Crowds of adults and children alike swarmed around. Apparently, Mercy Clinic had volunteered to help run the event. As Taku led me along, spotted a man in a suit just ahead. It's Tono. Two of his goons trailed after him. I felt Taku stiffen up. Oh my.
Yeah, これはこれは.
Well, well, well. Hello there. Tono's sharp eyes pierced each of us in turn. His lips were smiling, but the rest of him wasn't.
村瀬先生じゃないですか。それにトアも。怪我したのか?
If it isn't Dr. Mercy, and Toa to boot. Were you injured recently? He spoke in an almost theatrical voice as his gaze drifted down to my leg.
まさかお前がチャリティーに参加するとはな。
Never thought I'd see you at a charity event. At this, Tono let out a dry laugh.
するさ、もちろん。こういうイベントは大事だろう?
Don't be silly. These events are very important.
お前こそ偽善が板についてるよ。
Likewise, I see it right at home in your own hypocrisy. And with that passive-aggressive comment, Tono started walking like he had already stopped caring.
じゃあな。
See you. The girls are fighting. Taku stared after Tono and his goons with a pained grimace on his face.
Taku, Toa.
Taku, Toa. At the sound of my name, I looked over my shoulder and saw Ray striding towards us. Ray-chan.
おう。
Oh, hey. A relieved smile rose to Taku's face.
こんなところにいたのね。探しちゃったわ。さあ、行きましょう。ああ、トアはゆっくりでいいからね。
Here you are! I was looking for you. Now, let's hurry. Oh, except you, Toa. You can take your time. The two of them started walking, and I hobbled along after them. We progressed through the rows of identical tables until we finally came to a stop partway in.
ここが今日うちで担当するスペースね。
This is the spot we're in charge of today. The table was lined with small appliances, daily necessities, and 3 folding chairs.
トア、座れる?
Toa, can you sit? Yeah. I walked up to the chair and slowly lowered myself onto it. Then Taku and Ray got everything set up and our peaceful, red boring, day at the charity event began. Visitors of all ages passed by, from groups of older ladies to families with kids to young women browsing alone. We actually sold a fair amount of stuff, and our stock was slowly dwindling. I was so bored. I started craving nicotine. But when I took out my cigarettes, Taku scowled at me.
ここではダメだ。喫煙スペースがあるだろう。
Not here. They have a smoking area, remember? Reluctantly, I started to rise from my chair. Just then, a strong impact knocked me off balance and my body pitched sideways.
危ない!
Look out! Taku and Ray both reached out to me. But it was someone else who caught me.
Oh.
The two of them stared in shock at me. Or more accurately, the person directly behind me. So it's either the other doctor or it's the lawyer. I followed their gaze to find I followed their gazes to find Asakura standing there. His face is inches from mine. Hey, kitten. You're looking scrumptious today. He looked at me sharply, then crouched down. A young boy was clinging to his leg, staring awkwardly at the ground. Evidently, he was the one who bumped into me. It's him. Ray murmured under his breath.
隼人君、ちゃんと周りを見て歩かないとダメだよ。
Hayato-kun, you need to watch where you're going when you run.
隼人君がぶつかっちゃったから、この怪我をしているお兄さんが転びそうになったんだ。わかるだろ?
You crashed into this injured person and nearly knocked him over. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
お兄さんにちゃんと謝ろうか。
What do you say to him? Asakura gently chowed the boy until he timidly looked up at me. It was when I saw the dark purple bruise on his face. Uh-oh. No chance he got that from the collision with me.
ごめんなさい. I'm sorry.
He bowed his head in apology. With a soft smile, Asakura stroked his hair. Hayato looked up at him and gleefully leapt into his arms. What a puppy! Little puppy! Choo-choo! Hayato.
Asakura sensei.
Hello, Dr. Asakura. Taku greeted the man stiffly. He looks kittenlicious with his eyes like that. Asakura's eyes widened slightly. A moment later, he furrowed his brow.
Murase.
Hayato seemed to sense the tension because he hid behind Asakura in fear.
お久しぶりです。今は鷹の口医院にいらしてるそうですね。
Long time no see. I heard you're working at the Takunokuchi medical office these days.
村瀬クリニックか。もしかしたらそうじゃないかとは思っていたが、本当に君だったんだな。
And you're running the Murase Clinic. I wondered if it was you, and sure enough.
ねえ。ところで、朝倉先生は
Yeah, by the way, Dr. Asakura. Taku paused to glance down at Hayato hiding in Asakura's shadow.
なんだ?
What is it? Asakura spoke in a defensive tone. Taku shook his head.
ええ、何も。
No, it's nothing. Kitten's angry. Asakura glared at Taku, then looked at me next to him.
君は村瀬君の知り合いだったのか?
I didn't realize you and Murase-kun knew each other.
クリニックのスタッフだよ。
I'm an employee at his clinic.
スタッフ? 働いてるのか? それなら今後は村瀬君に見てもらった方がいい。
What? So rude. Kya. You work there? Well then, you should make your appointments with Murase-kun from now on.
では、失礼する。
Now then, I must be going. He sneered coldly, then put a protective arm around Hayato's shoulders and walked off. Ahead of them, a woman came running in their direction. Was she Hayato's mother? Even at a distance, I could tell she was young and wearing flashy clothes. Silently, Taku watched Asakura with a hard look on his face.
ねえ、あの子、この間、私が追いかけた子じゃない？
Hey, that boy just now. Isn't he the same one I ran after? Ray whispered to me, his eyes fixed on Hayato.
あの時は暗かったから顔がよく見えなかったんだけど、似てる気がするわ。
It was dark at the time, so I didn't get a good look at his face, but he has the same vibe, right?
そうかもな。
Yeah, maybe. I hadn't cared enough to pay attention, but he sure acted like the same kid.
それに、あの顔のあざ。転んでどこかにぶつけたのかしら。
And that bruise on his face. Do you think he fell and hit his head? Or... Ray seemed to suspect that something else had caused it.
虐待の可能性か。
You think someone's abusing him?
可能性の一つとしてね。
Well, it's a possibility. I didn't have a response, so I shrugged vaguely. Taku's expression was still stiff. He looked like he was thinking hard.
朝倉とは親しかったのか？
You close with Asakura? At my question, he looked up. He had mentioned that Asakura was his senpai at college, but it seemed like there was more to the story. Frowning awkwardly, he rubbed the back of his head.
親しいというわけじゃないが、大学も研修先も同じだったんだ。
We weren't close, but we went to the same college and interned at the same place.
でもなんだかあんまり仲がいいって感じではなかったわね。
And yet, I get the sense that the two of you, aren't exactly buddies.
あの人の子供好きは少なくとも大学時代から続いてるんだ。だから、まあ。
It was in college that the rumors first started going around, so... no. He spoke vaguely, like he didn't want to get into it. I thought back to the conversation I had with Kotaro and the gang. Please. Please don't be a pedophile, I'm begging you, please. It would be epic if he wasn't a pedophile. It would be so cool. A child brothel where they kept a doctor on hand for emergencies. Personally, I never gave a shit about kids, but at the same time, the thought of a place where kids were used as sex toys made me versely uncomfortable. Yeah, this sentiment's just me. I don't care for kids, but the idea of them being used like that is gross. I didn't understand why I felt so intensely about it, but I could feel a weight on my chest, suffocating me. Was Asakura really a pedophile? No, he couldn't be. Somehow it didn't feel like the right answer. I didn't have any proof, it was just my gut instinct. To take my mind off things, I looked up at the steeple piercing the clear blue sky. Steeple? Huh? Wow. By the time the charity event ended, the sun had started to set. Taku and Ray had gone home while I chose to stay behind. Reason being, I wanted to check the inside of the cathedral. Oh, me too! I had never cared much about church before. Perhaps it was A whim inspired by the religious poems. Oh my god, I love stained glass windows. And also, the inside and outside of religious buildings are so beautiful, but I would say the outside of this church is meh. It's not that great. TBH. As volunteers milled about, cleaning up after the event, I walked up to the doors and stopped short. Next to the doors was a bulletin board covered in flyers and Bible verses.
Amen!
I peeked inside and saw a large crucifix hanging on the far side wall directly opposite to the doors. A handful of people were sitting in the perfectly symmetrical pews. It felt especially dark in there, possibly because the sun hadn't completely set outside. A gust of warm air brushed my cheek and I hesitated to enter. Most people felt at peace in these quiet places, but I couldn't stand them. Well, you're gonna have to stand it because I'm gonna have to pause. I have a phone call. Jeez. I'm so popular. Oh my god. Anyways. Most people felt at peace in these quiet places, but I couldn't stand them. My rational side didn't see what difference it would make to pray here versus anywhere else. It's the atmosphere, the smell, and the aesthetics. And the religious shit, too.
Aren't you going in?
Oh, sister, hello. Yeah, this is an ugly ass church. I'm disappointed as hell. No fucking stained glass windows. What the fuck? What is this? Shitty church, that's what I tell you. A voice called from behind me. I turned to find a nun standing there wearing a habit. Wearing a habit and a smile? Is that what they're called? A habit?
Is this your first time?
ま
I guess. To find a nun standing there wearing a habit.
Don't be shy. Go in.
At her insistence, I walked in. Over time, my eye adapted to the dark interior, and I started to notice the little details. I like the color at least. I don't know if it's orange, or it's because of how late it is, but I like how orange it is. Not everyone seated in the pews was praying. Some were just staring into space. There was even a homeless guy conked out.
こんな時代だからか、祈りを捧げに来られる方は意外と多いんですよ。
Because of the times we live in, more and more people have been coming to pray.
The nun walked up beside me.
それから懺悔をしたいという方もいらっしゃいます。皆さん救いを求めて許されたいと思っているのでしょうね。
Some of them want to confess their sins, but I imagine they're all seeking salvation and forgiveness.
Half listening, I looked at the painting on the wall. The painting depicted dozens of angels flying through the sky. Looks more like a black and white stencil or something. Yeah, it's all ink. Like it's like cross-hatched and shit. Ink or something like that. Angels. The poem flashed through my mind. I beg of you, send me an angel, your divine messenger.
あの絵、気になります？
Has the painting caught your eye?
The voice snapped me back to reality. Beside me, the nun gazed up at the painting with an amiable smile.
とっても綺麗な絵ですよね。天使たちも可愛らしく描かれていて。
It's beautiful, isn't it? I love all the cute little cherubs.
I don't know what that means.
ああ
Yeah.
有名な作品というわけではないんですけど、気に入られる方が多いんです。
It's by no means a famous piece, and yet we get a lot of visitors who love it.
最近も毎日のようにこの絵を見るために足を運ばれる方がいらっしゃって。
In fact, one such person comes here to see it every single night.
毎日
Every night.
はい。聖堂を閉める時間の午後5時前に駆け込んでいらして、5分でいいから見たいとおっしゃられて。
Yes, he runs in about 5 minutes before closing and begs us to let him stay and look at it for a while.
この絵を見ると心が安らぐんだそうです。
He says the painting soothes his heart.
Frankly, the painting didn't seem at all that special to me, but different strokes for different folks. Yeah, same bestie. I don't know, if this was like colorized, it could be a really good piece, but black and white's not doing it for me. Cause like, I don't know if it's done by a modern day painter or someone from like the 15th, 14th century. Probably modern day, because of how small it is. Like the sort of coloring or the painting and lighting they use in these sorts of paintings are very magnificent and extraordinary, but yeah, black and white's just not doing it. But the crosshatch work looks okay in the clouds for what I see so far, but yeah, this would be really good colored. I can totally see it. I don't think it is. Yeah, but guessing on the scale, it's probably a modern day artist that did it. I got the sense that this nun was going to hover over me the entire time, so I inclined my head and hurried out. Outside, the sun had set and the sky had darkened to navy blue. The heat had enveloped my body swiftly. The heat that had enveloped my body swiftly evaporated in the night air, and my breaths turned white. Compared to the gentle warmth, the biting cold put me at ease. Yeah. And so, I thought back to the soothing painting and slowly headed home to the clinic.
Amen. So damaged. Yeehaw.
The next day. In exchange for having participated in the charity event on Sunday, Taku decided to close the clinic on Monday as a replacement day off. I woke up in the afternoon, then dragged my sprained ankle to the Takunokuchi medical office for my appointment. After I checked in, I went and sat down in a vacant chair. Once again, the waiting room was full of mothers and children. Business was booming. After about an hour, my name was called, and I headed to the exam room. Hey kitten, nya nya nya. As soon as I entered, Asakura glared daggers at me.
村瀬に見てもらえばいいだろう。
Why don't you have Murase examine you? As I sat down on the chair, I smiled faintly.
あっちだと身内だからか。いろいろうるさくて。来ちゃまずかったか？
He can be really naggy, you know, since we're so close. Is this a bad time or something? Worried at my pointed question.
患者として来た以上、拒否はしない。
If you've come here as my patient, then I have no reason to turn you away.
なら、患者として聞きたいことがある。
Well then, I'd like to ask you something, Doc.
なんだ？
What is it?
先生を信頼するためにも、いろいろと教えてほしいんだよ。いろいろとな。
If you're going to be my doctor, I need to get to know you, so let's talk. You frowned at the implication of my statement.
君は一体何が目的なんだ？
What exactly is your angle here?
先生のことが知りたいだけだよ。
I just want to know more about you.
それなら帰ってくれ。
Then please leave.
鷹の口医院の先生がルーストに通ってるって噂が広まってもいいのか？
You want rumors to spread about the Takunokuchi doctor who goes to roost? Instantly, his face twisted in fury. Yeah, that's a low blow.
君は。
さてと、何から話そうか、先生。
Now then, where shall we begin, Doc?
君に話すことなどない。
I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Provoke him to find out what kind of person he really is. Yeah. Might as well. Oh, it's brown. Like poop. He's pissed.
なあ、
You know, I don't bite right.
それで、
So how long have you lived in Shingomi?
ポジティブ。聞かせてくれ。
Come on, I want to know more about you. Just tell me. I refuse.
Nah.
We both go to Roost, right? We're the same, you and me.
まったく君は
Is that supposed to be a joke? Because it isn't funny.
なるほど。
Let's change the subject. You seem pretty popular with kids, huh?
何なんだ
And if I am, what's wrong with that?
ポジティブに
It's very pissed.
興味がある。
I'm interested. Teach me how to make kids like me. This is stupid. Can you please knock it off? Oh shit.
次は
Why are you only working part-time?
それが聞きたいことなのか
Is that really what you want to ask?
ポジティブ。なら
I mean, the kids would be happy if you were available more often, right?
個人的な理由だ
I have my reasons, but it's nothing I need to tell you. Seems like he's growing unstable.
それから
Any plans to return to the mainland?
ないな
I haven't really thought about it.
ネガティブ。なら
Or maybe there's a reason you can't go back, right? It's none of your business.
「無駄だな。
In the end, you're the same as anyone else who lives here.
何が言いたい
What are you trying to say?
傷跡を
What other topic might interest?
過去の事件。過去にいろいろあったんだって。
I heard you had a dark past.
何のことだ
What are you talking about? There's definitely more to it.
欲望の答えは
Desire. True desire. Don't. Are we gonna call him a pedophile? Oh my god, I guess let's just call him a pedophile.
過ぎた子供好きの噂。過ぎた子供好きの噂を聞いた。
くだらない噂話に興味はない
Okay, yeah, that's fucking rude. I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you a pedophile. First.
ルースト。ルーストにはまた行くのか。
その話はもういいだろ
ハヤト。ハヤトのことをどう思ってる？
君には関係ない
My god. Are you serious? Yes, this is
同じ
it.
大学。あんた、タクと同じ大学だったんだろ。
だったら何だと言うんだ
仲が悪そうに見えるけど、何かあったのか。
別に仲が悪いわけではない。ただ、
Fluster him? Oh yeah, we get lots of time to get the kid in
ま
fluster.
だ聞きたいことがある。
I'm not done asking questions.
もういいだろ
What more do you need? I usually
聞かせて
read
くれ。
oh. I usually read everything out, but some traffic was being really loud. Tell me, what brings you to Roost?
う。それは、
I already told you, I go there for a change of pace.
ネガティブに。へえ。
It's interesting, since you seem so uncomfortable being there. I'm just not used to it.
No.
Baka. Don't you ever get tired being on edge 24/7?
失礼だな。
And whose fault do you suppose that is? Idasu. Seems like he's getting even more irritated.
ポジティブに。
Hey.
だから、
Why you need Roost, right? A place to unwind. What? You're so hard-headed. You're so hard-headed. It's actually hilarious. Please, just shut up.
へえ。
You're not like this when kids are around. Is this closer to how you really feel on the inside? I have no obligation to answer that. He seems a little worked up.
それで、
What relationship do you have with Hayato? I have been asked to look after him.
ネガティブ。本当か？
Is that true? Looked like there was more to it than just that. What are you trying to say? Got it.
ああ。どうなんだ？
Are you hiding something? Be honest. Don't be absurd! Of course not!
傷を。ハヤト。ハヤトのことをどう思ってる？
君には関係ない。
Nope. Guess I'm on the wrong track.
この傷跡。
Rumors of pedophilia. Maybe this. Oh.
過去の事件。過去にいろいろあったって聞いたんだけど、そのせいで新興海に来たんだって？
誰から聞いた？
Who told you that?
情報通ってのはどこにでもいるもんだろ。
君には関係ない。
It's none of your business. Oh,
もういいか。
guess that's enough.
いい加減にしてくれないか。
Kitchen's mad.
まだだ。もう少しだけ。
I don't think he's gonna let us. He's pissy wissy.
医者としての腕はいいってタクから聞いた。なのに、なんでこの町に来たんだ？
Taku told me you're good at your job. So why would a good doctor end up out here?
それを君に話す必要はあるのか？
Why should I have to tell you?
知りたいから聞いてる。
Because I want to know.
ノーコメントだ。
じゃあ質問を変える。さっきの続きだ。タクとは仲が悪いわけじゃない。ただ
Different question then. Let's rewind. You said you get along fine with Taku, but
その話を蒸し返すのか？
we're really going back to that?
気になるからな。
I'm curious. A hint of hesitation crept up on Asakura's hard expression, and he lowered his gaze to the floor.
村瀬も新公民にいるとは思わなかった。
I didn't think Mursa would be here in Shinkomi. Almost knocked over my tea. That would be bad. His lips twisted in a sardonic smirk.
大学時代からしてまともな医者になれるとは思ってなかった。
Bitch. Shut the fuck up. Ever since college, I never once believed he would turn out to be a decent doctor.
どういう意味だ？
What's that supposed to mean? Kitten.
知らないのか？
Don't you know? He quirked a brow in contempt.
あいつは成績が悪いわけではなかったが、そこがとんでもなく悪かったんだ。
What do you mean by conduct, though? His grades were fine, but his conduct was terrible.
不愛想で、人に対する態度も乱暴でな。誰も友人になろうなんて思わなかったし、近づきもしなかった。
He was rude, with absolutely no bedside manner. None of us wanted to be friends with him. We all kept our distance.
酒とタバコは当たり前で、手術室に持ち込もうとすることすらあった。薬物をやっているなんて噂もあったな。
Well, that's crazy. Oh shit. He was always drinking and smoking. Sometimes he'd try to bring it to the operating room. And rumor had it, he was doped up too.
それがまさか開業しているなんて驚いたよ。
So you'll have to pardon my shock when I found out the guy's running his own clinic. I had never heard the details of Taku's past before.
今は患者からそれなりに人気もあるみたいだけどな。
For what it's worth, he seems to be well liked by his patients these days. Asakura scoffed.
君が村瀬からどんな話を吹き込まれたのかは知らないが、私の知る限りでは最低の男だった。
Well, at least Taku got some character development. Isn't that nice? Not everyone's an angel. Ha! I don't know what fairy tale Mercedes put in your head, but when I knew him, he was scum.
そんな人間にとやかく言われる筋合いはない。
He has no right to criticize me for anything.
君も同じだ。詮索が目的なら帰ってくれ。
And neither do you. If you're here to snoop, then get out.
As someone who has something to hide would say.
He glared at me as he spoke. Asakura was only doubling down harder and harder. So I decided not to waste any more of my time and slowly rose to my feet. He He turned his head as if to avoid looking at me for a moment longer.
あんたは同志を求めてあの店に行くんだろ。あそこはどんな人間でも受け入れる場所だ。
You go to Roost in search of a community, right? It's a place where all are welcome.
ただし、自分を隠さずにさらけ出したやつを。だけどな。
But that only applies to those who wear their heart on their sleeve. I looked at his face, frozen in profile like a statue. Then something else caught my attention. I could see what looked like silver rods peeking out from the side of his desk. At first I thought maybe they were some sort of medical tool, but I had never seen anything like them at our clinic. Then my interest faded and I left the exam room. I saw spoilers, so I kinda know what that is.
Yeah. Crazy.
On my way home from Takunokuchi Medical Office, I walked past the park and caught sight of a familiar figure. It was Taku, crouching down on the sandbox. What was he doing? Then I saw a little boy next to him. Was that Hayato? Taku must have sensed my gaze because he looked over his shoulder at me, then bolted upright and started walking.
トアじゃないか。どうしたんだ?
Sus. Hey there! So, what brings you here?
そっちこそ、なんで公園にいるんだよ。
I could ask you the same. What are you doing at the park?
池山さんに誘われて昼食をごちそうになった帰りだ。公園を通ったら、あの子が一人で遊んでたから気になってな。
Kayama-san took me out to lunch as a treat. I was on my way home when I saw the kid playing by himself. Got a little worried. As we talked, Taku looked back at Hayato in the sandbox.
あの子、昨日のチャリティーイベントでお前にぶつかってきた子だろ。隼人君と言うんだが、どうにも寂しそうに見えてな。
He's the kid who bumped into you during the charity event, remember? His name is Hayato-kun. He just looked so sad.
どうも家庭環境が良くないようだ。母親がほとんど家にいなくて、いつも一人だと言っていた。
He's got a hard life at home. Told me his mother's never around. So he's always alone.
だからよく高野口医院にも遊びに行くみたいだな。
I guess that's why he's always hanging out at the Takunokuchi Medical Office.
朝倉先生もそのことを分かってるんだろう。学校にもあまり行ってないらしい。
What the fuck? Bro, go to school. Free babysitting. Plus there's kids there. Unless he's being bullied, that would suck. I imagine Dr. Asakura knows about it. The kid's been skipping school. Taku's expression hardened.
昨日チャリティーイベントで見た時から気になってたんだが、あの子顔にあざがあるんだ。生まれつきのものじゃない。
I've been thinking about it since yesterday. You know how he has a bruise on his face? It's not a birthmark.
腕や足にもあったから、そのことを聞いたら黙り込んじまってな。理由は答えてくれなかった。
He has them on his arms and legs too. When I asked him about him, he went quiet. Wouldn't tell me. He let out a conflicted sigh.
もしかしたら体のあざは朝倉先生がなんて考えちまったんだが、そうじゃなかった。おそらく肉親による虐待だろう。
At first, I thought maybe Dr. Ursaka put him there, but apparently not. It's a family member. If his first reaction to the bruises was to suspect Asakura's involvement, then his opinion of the guy had to be pretty bad. And Asakura didn't have anything nice to say about Taku either. Frenemy. Setting aside the truth of the matter, it was clear that they disliked each other. Just then, the little boy Hayato jumped to his feet and came running over, dusting his hands off.
おじさん、僕もう行くね。
Hey, mister, I'm gonna go now.
あ、またな。
Alright, see ya. Waving his little hand energetically, the boy dashed out of the park. Taku watched him go with a pained smile on his face.
子供の頃からずっと一人っていうのは寂しいよな。
It's sad to think he spent his whole childhood alone.
あのくらいの年齢ならどんなにひどいことをされても親が世界のすべてだし、愛されたくてたまらないだろうに。
When you're his age, your parents are your whole world, no matter how shitty they treat you. Poor kid's gotta be love-starved.
そう思ったら放っておけなくなってな。親代わりは無理でも少しでも何かできないかと思ったんだ。
Looking at it that way, I can't sit back and do nothing. Maybe I can't be his dad, but surely there's something I could do to help. His voice was full of emotion, then he looked at me.
そういえば、鷹の口医院へ行ったんだろ。朝倉先生に見てもらったのか。
Come to think of it, you went to Takunokuchi today, right? Did you see Dr. Asakura?
ああ、
Yeah.
どうだった？
How'd it go?
大学の時の話を聞いた。
He talked to me about the time you guys were at college. Instantly, Taku furrowed his brow.
それは俺の話も聞いたのか？
Did he tell you about me?
ああ、
Yeah. The crease in his brow deepened and he looked down at his feet.
そこまで深刻にならなくてもいいだろ
It's really not that serious.
う。この町に腰を落ち着けるのは訳ありの人間だって自分で言ってたよな。お前も例外じゃなかった。それだけだ。
Anyone who stays here has a dark past. You said as much yourself. You already admitted you were no exception. That's all there is to it.
それはそうなんだな。
Yeah, but... Grimacing, he let out a heavy, aspirated sigh.
まあいい。俺はクリニックへ戻るが、お前は？
Fine, whatever. I'm going back to the clinic. What about you?
寄るところがある。
I've got a detour to make.
わかった。あまりフラフラするなよ。
Alright, don't wander too far now. Alright then. I'll be good.
Just kidding. I'll be bad. I'm bad to the bone.
That warning, he turned away. Truth be told, I was planning to go straight home, but instead my legs carried me to a different direction. Maybe I would grab a drink first. Let's get crunk. Oh yeah. Speaking of getting crunk, my sister's going clubbing today. Woo! Good for her. As the sun began to set, I started walking in the direction of the cathedral. Oh. For some reason, the angel painting kept nagging at me in the back of my mind. Plus, I was curious why anyone would go out of their way to keep coming back to it. Oh, maybe Asakura's that guy that's obsessed with the painting and he wants to be painted by Euphoria. He keeps sending those religious texts, but I don't think he knows Euphoria is Towa. The nun said someone would always run in right before they closed. In other words, right around now. I looked up at the park clock. The little hand was pointing to the fore. The cathedral was scheduled to close at 5 p.m. Maybe I could witness it for myself. When I arrived at the church, I was craving a cigarette, so I paused outside to have a smoke. Right as I crushed my cigarette butt on the sidewalk, a silver car pulled up in front of me. The driver opened, and a man stepped out. I froze. It was Asakura. Of course it's fucking Asakura! Oh my god. But he didn't notice me. Instead, he headed straight into the church. I watched him for a moment, then followed. Inside, Asakura was standing in front of the angel painting. Oh wait, that's kind of weird. Because they're naked babies. Uh-oh. As far as I could tell, no one else was around. He craned his neck up at the painting and mumbled to himself under his breath. See, told y'all. Told y'all. Grant salvation to your lowly servant. Okay, you might be a pedophile. I have no words to describe the beauty of your heavenly messengers. Just then, the emo poems sprang to mind. Kiden's a freak! As if to signal the end of his prayer, Asakura let out a long breath and gazed up at the painting in silence. As I observed him, a nun came out from the back and quietly approached him. I could hear the clinking of something metallic, probably keys.
Come back.
She spoke softly, but nevertheless, he flinched and rolled around. I apologize for arriving so late every time. His behavior was nothing like the way he acted around me. Here, he actually sounded humble.
No, that's fine. We appreciate the love you have for our painting.
そうですね。この絵は本当に素晴らしい。私の中で欠けている何かが満たされていくようです。
Renaissance. Yes, I love it very much. It's truly a marvelous work of art. It completes me in a way I didn't know was possible.
以前にもそうおっしゃられていましたね。ずっと解決できない悩みがあるって。
You mentioned that last time. Something about a problem you've been struggling with?
なんとかしようと自分でも思ってはいるんですが、なかなか難しくて。
Yes, just as much as I want to take action, I just can't seem to find a solution.
大丈夫ですよ。神様は必ず見ていてくださいますから。
Don't worry too much, okay? The Lord is always watching over you.
そうですね。
Yes. Asakura nodded vaguely, then looked back at the painting. Now I understood the person the nun told me about was in fact Asakura. Since there was no reason for me to stick around, I turned on my heel and left the church. Uh-oh, guys, we might have a PEDO. Uh-oh. The sun had set and it was pitch dark outside. As I headed home to the clinic, I thought back over what I'd just witnessed. The comments Asakura made while looking at the painting. They sounded an awful lot like the religious poems I kept receiving. Still, I wasn't completely sure Asakura was the person behind them. Apparently, he was struggling with something. Taku's remarks rose to the forefront of my mind. Specifically, the rumors about Asakura's fondness for children. If he was the one who wrote those poems. As I limped down on the street, I felt a fleeting rush of anticipation. Okay. Slow damage. Two nights later. It was the night of the Christmas party at Roost. Oh, let's go. I didn't feel like going. Instead, I was lying on the sofa, smoking a cigarette. But then Ray told me they were offering free drinks, so I crushed my cig in the ashtray and rose to my feet. I'll wander for a bit, then head to Roost. This is my studio. I have a bed, but I always sleep on the sofa. Yeah, you say the same thing. Guess I'll kill some time. This is Hagoita Street in District D. The road passes through every Shinkomi district from A to E. If you travel west down Hagoita, you'll reach District C. Travel north and you'll reach District B. District D is considered the entertainment district. The Greater Aburo neighborhood is located here. It's the biggest district in terms of land. Hagoita Street features a wide variety of businesses, from restaurants to recreational facilities to host and hostess nightclubs and more. With the constant traffic, it's the noisiest part of the town all year round.
Ah, Towa da.
I have no idea who this is.
Oh, I knew it. It's Toa.
Oh, it's you. Hi, Mayu. I don't remember the voice I gave you. I didn't expect to find you in the middle of all these people.
No.
I'm impressed you spotted me in the crowd. I have good eyes. From here, I can see the stuff on top of that building. That's some powerful eyesight you got. Also, I'm good at hitting targets. I'm a champ at darts. I take it that you're a good shot with a gun too. Yes, I am. Do you know why? Kill people. You kill people! Okay.
Positive. それは
Is it a natural born talent you have? Well, I've had good eyes since I was born. Anyways, I gotta go now. They called me in to do some work.
そうか
Alright. See you later, Toa. There's always lots of people at Christmas time. What? Did you want to talk more?
いや
No. Oh, there's a fight happening in that alley.
へえ
You've got really sharp eyes. I am all seeing. Is someone there? I need to piss so bad. This is Ko Street, the place that sees the most traffic in District D. I love how colorful this game is. Well, District B has all the most famous casinos and resorts. District D has its fair share of tourist attractions too. The countless neon signs serve as a hallmark of this lively district. Set one foot in an alley, however, and you'll walk headfirst into the most dangerous and violent area in all of Shinkomi. If you want to survive in this part of town, you'll need to keep your wits about you. Taku? Huh? Oh, hey, Toa. Fancy bumping into you in the middle of this crowd. I didn't realize you were out and about.
Oh,
Well, one of my older patients was feeling sick, and their daughter called me in a panic, so I went over to take a look. Turns out they ate too much at a fancy dinner party. There was no other issues, so it all ended pretty quick.
へえ
You're working a lot over the holidays, huh? Well, their family was scared half to death. Couldn't just sit around.
Aw, you're so nice. Wow, what a gentleman.
I got pissed. So, I need to pee, but also Miss Sophia here, my little assistant on my lap, needed to pee as well. Who am I to deny her? Anyway, the streets sure are clogged, aren't they? But I guess that's normal for this time of year. Oh, that's right. Is there anything you need lately? Oh, are you gonna buy me something, Papa?
Positive.
Booze or smokes? Buddy, that's the same shit you always get. Isn't there anything more, I don't know, special? Do I want something special for Christmas? No, not really. Yeah, I figured you'd say that. Still, it can't hurt to ask, right? Times like these, a little kindness is what matters most. Oh. No need to force yourself to think of something. But think of it. Ray and his friends are throwing that Christmas party tonight, aren't they? Yeah. You going? Probably can't. Too much work piled up. But you should go and have fun without me. Just don't drink too much, alright? Okay, Dad. I know, I know. See ya. Another year's already ending. Something on your mind?
Yeah.
No. You know, with all this talk of presents, I realize I've never seen you look happy to receive one. You want me to put a big smile on my face? In your case, that would be a little creepy. So I should have said he wanted paints or something. This is an Abro neighborhood alleyway, branching off from Kowo Street. Unlike the bright and bustling main street, the alleys are dark and shadowy. The rotten sewer smell is inescapable, and you see a lot of animals digging through the trash. Rats, crows, stray cats. As for the human population, you'll find shivering homeless kids, drooling tweakers. What? Drooling tweakers? And black market dealers. The sight of hapless children brawling and bleeding has become a daily occurrence. In winter, you'll find frozen corpses lying around, but nobody cares. There's no trace of glamour here, but make no mistake. This is Shinkomi.
Hi, mister.
Kid, what are you doing here of all places?
My mom said to wait here because, it's Christmas and she's gonna buy a cake. So, I'm waiting.
Alright. Even Toa doesn't look good about this.
Hey, mister. Sometimes, when my mom comes home from work, she gives me a big hug and cries a lot. What do I do in that?
Oh my god.
Positive.
You should just do it back.
Give her a big hug?
Yeah. You have a question like that, you should ask her.
Ask my mom?
My god. His color's like so pure.
本当に
Can I ask why?
よし。
Yeah, ask her.
ありがとう。
Got it. Thank you, mister. I can't wait to have cake. Are you going home, mister?
ああ、
Probably.
You're not gonna eat cake for Christmas?
Oh, you enjoy it though.
I will.
Okay, let's leave this kid unsupervised because that's what everyone fucking does. Fucking crazy. You again?
あ
Yeah. Did you know? They got the assault party guys. I heard the Taku took them to their HQ, but they were already dealt with, so nobody got any answers. There's the Takasatagumi for you. I heard there's been an increase of people doing drugs on the streets. Apparently, there's a little sample of a new drug going around.
Whoever's doing it has been skittering them all around all over. Our goal is...
どうだろう。
Rumor has it, Sakaki Hideyasu is the new leader of the Takusatagumi. Nothing confirmed yet, but it's clear that the gang's taking action. Probably should stay away for now.
は
Don't go. The trains don't go to Shinkomi. The only transportation methods are water, taxi, or bus.
Or motorcycle or car.
What? Because it's so cramped. The parking spaces all fill up instantly. It's a big hassle. Come to think of it, I think there's a parking lot at one of the smaller clinics. I wonder why that a tiny building gets one.
あ。
You look like a walking corpse.
I haven't slept.
And I'm very sleepy. Maybe you should go home and sleep.
Sleepy.
あ
I have no business here, but we're gonna go anyways. This is the Takunokchi Medical Office in District D. It's larger than Marissa Clinic with more employees and better equipment. Its main departments are internal medicine, surgery, and pediatrics. Most of the patients are families of young children. It has the pristine feel of a brand new building. The upper floors are all medical wards where the injured and hospitalized can rest. Because it's close to the main street, it's the first choice destination for ambulances. Cool.
Tajimas.
This is Tajima's, a snack store on the corner of a residential block. The place is owned and run by a stubborn octogenarian. Probably means she's 80, right? I come here sometimes to buy stuff when I feel like it. Tajima is was first built during Shinkomi's grand opening and hasn't shut down once. The building looks old-fashioned compared to the modern buildings all around it. The gym is popular with middle-aged folks looking for a nostalgic taste of their youth, plus younger people curious about classic snacks. The owner is one of a few who have been here since the early days, and she loves reminiscence about the past. The interior features a single black painting, but it really clashes with the store's vibe, so I've always wondered where it came from. Yep. Accept.
Amen.
It's closed right now. Oh, we can't just stand outside it? Fine. We went here, right? Okay, so last place is Roost. Let's go! End of exploration. Huzzah! The buildings were lit up with strings of Christmas lights and cheerful music played over the loudspeakers. Couples walked shoulder to shoulder, happy families hurried home, holding hands with their little ones. The city was the very picture of joy itself, but I ignored it and walked straight to Roost.
Happy Christmas!
Is this a new outfit? Honomi-chan! Honomi-chan!
Happy Christmas!
Christmas おめでとう!
Merry Christmas! The bar was normally pretty quiet, but today everyone was in a loud, festive mood. Why is the tree like that, brother? The place was decorated with crosses, angels, and lifelike Santa dolls, illuminated by flashing lights in every color. The manager and bar staff were all wearing costumes, and the customers were all chatting merrily. Normally, the patrons would stick to their own separate tables, but on Halloween and Christmas, everyone came together for the party. This all started a few years back at the request of some customers. The first party had been a hit, so they kept throwing them every year since. Oh my god, Ray's outfit! Ray. Oh, it's Soa! You're here! Thank God! Oh my god. Kawaii! Ray came rushing over to me, wearing a reindeer antler headband. Merry Christmas, Toa! Nice outfits, guys. Merry Christmas! Arata with the simple hat. Fair.
Are you having fun?
After Ray came his friends, Honami, Junko, and Arata. Oh, the homies! Oh, I miss them already. Why the fuck doesn't the doctor have friends? Soa, you're not wearing a costume! I was totally hoping you would. Junko and Honami took one look at my street clothes and pouted.
足を怪我してるしね。
Well, he hurt his ankle recently. At Ray's explanation, the two of them whipped their heads up and look at each other.
そうだった。ごめんね、とは。
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Toa.
来てくれただけでも嬉しいわ。
Or the most important thing is that you showed up at all.
無理はしないでね。
Just take it easy.
They hastily tried to smooth things over, and Ray rolled his eyes.
どうせ気にしてないわよ、とはは。
Knowing Toa, he wasn't offended. Right.
うん。
Right.
それじゃ、とわをカウンターへ連れて行って座らせるわ。
Well then, let's help Toa get to the counter.
はーい。
Sure thing.
頑張って飾り付けしたから店内もゆっくり見ていってね。
Be sure to look around at all the decoration. We worked hard to put them all up.
楽しんでね、とは。
Have fun, Toa.
The bar was more crowded than usual, which made it hard to walk with a limp. With Ray's help, I made it to the counter and sat down.
トワ君、メリークリスマス。
Merry Christmas, Toa-kun. The manager called out to me from behind the counter. Like his staff, he was wearing a costume. Normally, he had a laid-back, detached vibe, but somehow he looked right at home in a flashy Santa hat and beard.
足は大丈夫なの？
How's your leg? Doing okay?
ああ。
Yeah.
注文は？
What will you have?
お任せで。
Surprise me. I took my smokes and lighter out of my coat pocket. After I lit up, he handed me my drink, whiskey on the rocks. I grabbed it and briefly glanced around the bar. Most of the party guests were regulars, several of whom were wearing costumes so elaborate, I had to wonder if there was some kind of performance scheduled later.
やっぱりなんだかんだでみんな騒ぐの好きなのね。
Turns out, everybody loves to let loose every now and then. As I scanned the room, Ray walked back over to the counter.
ま、私もだけど、たまには世間の流れに乗っかってみるのも悪くないわよね。普段は外れっぱなしなんだし。
Myself included, of course. It's nice to join in with the mainstream for a change. Not often we get that opportunity. I set my cigarette against the rim of the ashtray and took a sip of whiskey. Just then, I saw something moving out of the corner of my eye. A man in a suit had risen to his feet holding a drink. It was Asakura! What? I would have never thought. What? It's not like we've seen him fucking everywhere. It's almost as if it's his route. Once again, he was sitting over at the very end of the counter. But then he came and sat next to me, perfectly poker-faced. Yeah. Puppies on my lap. But then, he came and sat next to me perfectly poker-faced. Despite this, he stared down at his hands without once glancing in my direction. As always, his overly formal attire clashed with the vibe of the bar. But then again, everybody else was in costume tonight. Without saying a word, I shot him a sidelong glance as I sipped my drink. Nothing felt better than the sting of alcohol burning my throat. His smoke was swaying slowly, but showed no signs of becoming unstable. You. Unable to withstand my unrelenting gaze, he started to speak. His voice was so hoarse, it threatened to fade into the din of the party if I wasn't paying attention. But then I leaned in to listen. He flinched and pulled away. Hey, kitten. Then, after a moment, he realized what I was doing and straightened up again. Oh, he's just leaning in because he can't hear you, bro. I do love this. Look, like how Toa looks here.
君もこの店に来るということは、何かそういう特殊な趣味を持っているのか?
Do you come to this place because you have some sort of special interest? He doesn't know. That's so cute. I rolled up my sleeve and thrust my scarred arm at it.
どう思う?
What do you think? I stared defiantly into his eyes. He had only seen part of my leg during my examination, so this was his first time seeing my scars. His eyes widened as he looked at my arm, then he averted his gaze, let out a sigh, and looked back at his drink.
自分を隠さずにさらけ出せば、この店はどんな人間でも受け入れる。君はそう言っていたな。
This community welcomes all those who wear their hearts on their sleeves. That's what you told me, correct?
ああ。
Yeah. His fingers tightened around his glass.
私は天使を待ち望んでいるんだ。
I'm waiting for an angel. Euphoria? Oh, they're kissing! What the fuck?
天使?
An angel?
ああ。私だけの天使を。ずっと。
Yes. Waiting for my own little angel. They're kissing! Yeah!
子供でも作るとか?
The angel painting flashed through my mind. You wanna have kids or something?
いや、そういうことじゃない。自分の子供が欲しいという意味ではなくて、これは欲求なんだ。
No, not like that. I don't want to foster a child. It is merely a desire.
私だけの天使が欲しいという。 欲望だ。
A desire to have my own personal angel. He started chugging his drink like he was washing something down. Then he let out a heavy breath. Maybe the rumors were right about him being a pedophile. I had figured he probably wasn't, but maybe I was wrong. I plucked my cigarette from the ashtray and took a long drag. Meanwhile, Asakura nervously gripped his empty glass.
この欲求をどう晴らせばいいのかわからない。医者という立場でありながら、私は。
I don't know how to get this desire out of my system. As a doctor, I.
でもあんた、囲ってる子供がいるんだろ。
I mean, you've got a kid at your house, right? I turned my face to exhale the smoke. He whipped his head around to look at me, his expression laced with panic. His smoke writhed as its color flashed and dimmed.
いきなり何を言うんだ。そんなわけないだろ。
Where did that come from? That's not true.
にしては動揺してるな。
Then why are you so flustered?
急にそんなことを言われたら。
Because you caught me off guard.
嘘がつけないタイプだろ、あんた。
You're a bad liar, huh? I looked straight into his wide eyes and spoke quietly.
わかりやすいよ。
I can read you like a book. Did he snort? He gritted his teeth and looked back at me.
頼む。誰にも言わないでくれ。必要なら金を払う。だから。
Please, don't tell anyone. If you need money, I'll give it to you. So please.
金はいらない。もちろん誰にも言わない。
I'll keep my mouth shut. You don't have to bribe me.
そうか。
I see.
代わりに聞きたいことがある。あんたはここで何を待ってる？
In exchange, I'd like to ask you something. What are you waiting for when you come here?
Huh?
He furrowed his brow in confusion.
店に来ても、あんたはいつも一人で座ってる。誰かから声がかかるのを待ってるのか？それとも。
Whenever you come here, you will sit by yourself. Are you waiting for someone to come talk to you?
すでに誰かに助けを求めていて、その相手を待ってるのか？
Or have you already asked for help and now you're waiting for it to arrive? He pursed his lips together. Whoa. But before we could have a more in-depth conversation, the door burst open. The chatting patrons all went quiet and everyone turned in the direction of the sound. In walked Kotaro, like a performer arriving on stage to greet his silent audience.
なあ、くそ！クリスマスなんぞクソったれだ！
Kotaro, chill. Brother, you killed the mood. You scared all the bitches, bro. How do I do his voice? Oh, god damn it! Fucking hate Christmas. And your goons are here too. Woo. Mayu and Eiji walked in after him. Though the three of them were Takasato goons, they were regulars here, so they were on familiar terms with most of the customers. Once everyone saw who had arrived, they went back to their conversation. Meanwhile, the trio spotted me and came over to the counter.
トワだ。へえ、トワもパーティーとか来るんだね。
It's Tawa! Weird! Didn't know you liked to party!
トワさん、こんばんは。
Good evening. Good evening, Tosan.
よ
Yo!
店長、会計を。
Could I pay my tab, sir? Scared off by the three strangers, Asakura bolted to his feet. Then he paid for his drink, grabbed his leather briefcase, and hurried out.
なんだあのサラリーマンは。
Who is that office worker, dude?
あの人が前に話した鷹の口院の先生ですよ。
That's the Takunokuchi doctor we were talking about.
ああ、あの子供好きの
Oh, the pedophile! Mayu pulled his lollipop out of his mouth and cackled.
んなやつのことはどうでもいいんだ。店長、ジントニック。
That's my mom's favorite drink, gin and tonic. Who cares about yo boss? I'll take a gin and tonic.
俺、モスコ。
What a Moscow mule.
僕はラムコークで。
I'll have a rum and coke.
That shit's really sweet. They all leaned against the counter to order their drinks.
なあ、めんどくせえ。一杯飲んだらすぐ行くぞ。
So obnoxious. As soon as we finish our drinks, we're leaving.
はいはい。
Yeah.
荒れてるな。
Somebody sounds pissed. I donned a teasing smirk as Kotaro impatiently tapped the counter.
なあ、トラブル発生中だからな。
Yeah, we're in the middle of dealing with some shit.
小太郎さんが担当してる店の女が店の売上金を持って逃げちゃったんですよ。しかも子供がいたのに置き去りにして。
A woman who works at Kotaro-san's store emptied the cash register and fled with the money. She even left her young child behind.
I hope it's not Hayato.
探し回ってるんだけど、どこに隠れてるんだろうね。
We have been looking for her, but I can't figure out where she's hiding.
女は借金があるわけじゃないんで、ウェブタグをつけてないんですよ。だからすぐに居場所がわからないんですよね。
She isn't in debt, so she doesn't have a web tag. Makes it a lot more difficult to locate her.
ま、今回ので強制的につけることになるでしょうけど。
Oh no, she'll definitely have one once we track her down.
あのアマ、見つけたらただじゃおかねえぞ。
As soon as we find her, that whore's dead meat.
すぐ見つかりますよ。目撃情報が入ってきてますから。彼女の子供もこっちで把握してますし。隼人くんでしたっけ？
Fucking knew it.
Oh, we'll find her soon enough. We've got eyewitness of sports. We know the whereabouts of her son. What was his name? Hayato-kun?
I looked at Eiji.
隼人。
はい。売上金を持ち逃げした女の子供の名前です。トワさん知ってるんですか？
Oh, yes. That's the name of the little boy whose mother stole from our company. Do you know him, Tosan?
同じ名前のやつは知ってる。
I just know a kid by the same name.
なるほど。そんなに珍しい名前ってわけでもないですしね。
Ah, I see. It's not an especially uncommon name, I suppose.
Eiji nodded in understanding. But I was still thinking about Hayato. At the charity event, I had caught a brief glimpse of a woman who might have been his mother. Was she on the run from Kotaro? Kotaro grabbed his glass and downed it in a single swallow.
すごい飲みっぷり。やばいね。
Holy shit!
He chugged the whole thing.
せめてもうちょっと味わって飲みましょうよ、もったいない。
At least savor it a little, would you? What a waste.
うるせえ。よし、行くぞ。
Shut your face. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Kotaro slammed his glass down on the counter and headed for the door.
店長、次払うのでつけといてください。
Just put it on our tab for next time, boss.
With an apologetic bow, Eiichi hurried after Maya and Kotaro. I watched them go, then took one last drag of my cigarette and crushed it in the ashtray. Shut up. After Roost closed, I hopped on the back of Ray's motorcycle and rode it to the clinic. Jesus, that's loud. As we headed to the entrance, I pulled my phone from my coat pocket. It was an email from Eiji. It was a reporting back on his findings regarding whether Asakura had visited that child brothel. The conclusion? Yes. There were even eyewitnesses. Shit. It sounded like damning evidence. Then we stepped inside the clinic. There we found Taku sitting in the empty waiting room, drinking a can of coffee.
おかえり。どうだった？
大盛況よ。みんなベロベロに酔っちゃってなかなか帰らないから追い出すのが大変だったわ。
Welcome home. How was the party? A massive success. Everybody got shit-faced and refused to go home. So we had a hell of a time kicking them all out.
朝倉が来てた。
And Asakura was there. At this, Taku's expression stiffened.
朝倉先生が一人で飲んでたのか？
Dr. Asakura? Was he drinking alone?
ああ。やっぱりあの子供の面倒を見てるみたいだな。
Yeah. Apparently, he's letting that kid live at his house.
隼人君か。
隼人君ってチャリティーイベントで朝倉先生が連れてた子よね。面倒を見てるっていうのは？
Hayato-kun's that boy who was in Dr. Asakura's charity event, right? They're living together?
母親がほとんど面倒を見ないらしくてな。朝倉先生のところへよく遊びに行ってるらしい。
I've heard his mom's a deadbeat. Oh, he's a Mori Calliope fan? Holy shit! That's why he always spends so much time with Dr. Asakura instead.
そうなんだ。
Oh, I see. Ray frowned sadly.
隼人君の面倒を見てるってのは朝倉先生から聞いたのか？
So, Dr. Asakura told you he's looking after Hayato-kun?
ああ。向こうから話しかけてきた。
Yeah, he initiated the conversation.
そうか。他には何か話したのか？
Gotcha. Did you say anything else?
特殊な趣味を持ってるのかって聞かれた。
He asked me if I had any special interests.
特殊な趣味？何それ？
Special interests? Like what? Frowning, Taku murmured in contemplation.
朝倉は昔、あまりにも子供を可愛がりすぎるってことで、変な噂が立ったんだよな。
Asakura used to be a little too affectionate with kids, That's how the rumors about him got started, right?
Oh,
Right.
どう思う？
What do you think? I fixed Taku with a probing look.
変な噂って。それじゃもしかして、隼人君は。
Wait, what? Rumors? Are you saying like he and Hayato-kun? Ray shot Taku a worried look. Taku remained silent for a moment, then finally resigned himself to speak.
まだそうだと決めつけるのは早い。朝倉先生は何かものすごく追い詰められてるのかもな。
This is looking really damning, Kyle. It's too early to jump to any conclusions, but Dr. Asakura might be struggling with something.
どうして？
What makes you say that?
チャリティーイベントの時もそうだったが、こっちに対する態度がかなり辛辣だっただろう。
Remember his antagonistic attitude towards us at the charity event?
そうね。確かに。
Oh yeah, totally.
朝倉先生はルーストへ自ら行くような人間じゃない。なのに店でトアに話しかけて、しかも特殊な趣味だなんだと聞くのは。
Dr. Asakura is not the kind of guy who would go to Roost of his own free will. So why would he go there and ask Toa about his special interests?
何かあると思わない方がおかしいだろう。
Makes me think there's gotta be something more to it.
気になるのか？
I'm surprised you care.
そりゃ仮にも先輩だからな。
I mean, the guy was my senpai, you know.
子供好きが集まる専門の店ってのがあって、朝倉はその店に出入りしてるらしい。
Apparently, there are eyewitnesses claiming that Asakura has visited a child brothel.
え？
What? Instantly, Taku's expression hardened.
もしその話が本当だとしたら、時間の問題かもしれんな。今はまだ何も起きていないというだけで。
If that's true, then maybe it's only a matter of time. He's bound to try something sooner or later.
場合によっては、隼人君を保護する必要がある。
We may need to take Hayato-kun into our custody. In a blink, Taku had completely changed his tune about Asakura. Ray looked at me in trepidation. Maybe he could sense the tension simmering just under the surface.
でも、朝倉先生は悩んでるんでしょ？困ってるからルーストに来たり、トアに話しかけたりしたんじゃないの？
That's true. But, I mean, Dr. Asakura probably knows that it's wrong. That's why he went to Roost to ask Toa for help, right?
だったら、まずは朝倉先生と話した方が。
In that case, we should go to him and sit him down and...
こういうのは理屈や理性で止められるようなもんじゃない。年派もいかない子供に対して、そういう感情を抱くのは。
This ain't the kind of thing that can be solved through rational debate. If he has those kinds of feelings for someone whose age is in the single digits,
異常者だ。
he's a freak. His low growl echoed through the room. Something was clearly off.
それを言ったら、この町にいる人間はみんな同じ穴の無地なだろ。
He's not special. Everyone who lives in the city is a freak.
タク、お前も。
Including you, Taku. I spoke matter-of-factly. Flustered, Taku pursed his lips.
すまん。少し言い過ぎた。
Sorry, I crossed the line with that. Maybe he was just upset about the less than savory news regarding an old acquaintance. His smoke swayed, slowly changing its color to match his emotion.
Taku, ちょっと疲れてるんじゃない?
Taku, I think maybe the fatigue's getting to you. Ray looked at Taku in concern. Apparently he and I were on the same page.
Yeah, 大丈夫だ。
No, I'm okay. He downed his drink, tossed the empty can in the trash, and left the waiting room.
本当に大丈夫かしら?
He says he's okay, but I don't know if I believe that. Ray's voice was a quiet mutter.
どうだろうな。
Me neither. As I spoke, I stared down the hallway at Taku's retreating back.
Snow damage.
The next afternoon. Normally, I only traveled with the bare minimum in my pockets, but today I was carrying a tote bag as I headed to the park. The pain and swelling in my ankle had receded considerably, so I could walk on it again as long as I didn't put too much weight on it. At the park, I could see a handful of children playing on the playground, their mothers engaged in idle gossip nearby. A short distance away, I could see a man in a black suit standing in the shade of a tree, looking entirely overdressed, probably a Takasato with dog. I looked out at the children, scanned each of them in turn. If the Takasato Gumi had them staked out, then that meant... Sure enough, Hayato was there, playing in the sandbox. His mother had run off with the money from the store. Kotora was in charge of running. Once I confirmed that Hayato was there, I walked to an empty bench and sat down. As I watched him, I pulled my sketch bag and pencil from my tote bag. Hayato didn't try to play with the other kids. Instead, he kept himself. His smoke was a pale yellow. There was a reason I wanted to find this kid. This morning, when I had my usual smoke, his face suddenly rose to mine. Every now and then, I would have these sudden flashes of something that bothered me. So what was bothering me this time? It was that curiosity had brought me to this park, hoping Hayato would be here. Alternatively, if he wasn't here, I'd figured I'd sketch some other kids and try to work it out that way. Ran my pencil over the paper as I watched Hayato quietly build his sandcastle. Then partway into my sketch, he spotted me.
Oh my god, you draw? Oh my god, can you draw me?
He saw me drawing and frowned, puzzled. Then he lost interest and went back to his project. Or so I thought. Then he got to his feet and ran straight over to me. I pretended not to notice. I didn't want him bugging me. He came to a stop right in front of me and peeked at my sketch bag.
何してるの?
What are you doing?
His voice was innocent, with a faint hint of a lisp.
絵を描いてる。
Drawing a picture. I answered without looking up.
何を描いてるの?
What are you drawing?
子供。
Little kids.
僕のことも描いてた?
Even me?
さあな。
Maybe. The next thing I knew, he moved right up beside me, so close that our thighs touched. He leaned against my arm and peered closely at my sketch bag. His faint yellow smoke wavered right in front of me. Again, I felt the same inexplicable emotions I'd felt this morning when his face came to mine.
朝倉先生は優しいか?
Is Dr. Asakura nice to you? I asked quietly as I continued to draw.
Yeah, he's really nice.
朝倉先生のこと好きか?
Do you like him?
Yeah, I love him.
Hayato answered enthusiastically. He smelled faintly sweet, like candy. Damn, his hand is bony. Suddenly, my pencil fell still. Hayato was touching my face. His index finger was tracing the scar that snaked across the bridge of my nose. When I looked up from my sketchpad, I found him staring at me with puppy dog eyes.
ねえ、この傷どうしたの?
How did you, get hurt there?
He fumbled over his words as he stroked my scar.
痛いの?
Does it hurt?
Then something touched my thigh. I looked down and realized he was propping himself up with his other hand.
足も怪我してるの?
Does your leg hurt too?
He rubbed my thigh with his little hand. This kid. He looked up at me, his lips slightly parted and his brows furrowed. I had no interest in children, but if I put myself in the mindset of a pedophile, these little gestures didn't seem so insidious anymore. He probably didn't realize he was doing anything wrong. From his perspective, he just wanted someone to care about him. His behavior wasn't specifically targeted at Asakura. He was like this with every adult in his life. In other words, this was just a survival tactic. Judging from the bruise on his face and the fact that his own mother dished him, it was safe to say he was love-starved. He was now so close, it was starting to make me uncomfortable, but before I could push him away,
Hayato-kun!
an alarming voice shouted his name. I looked over to find Asakura standing there in shock, shoulders heaving. He walked straight over to the bench, gently pulled Ayato's head against his chest. The boy clung to him completely.
急に姿が見えなくなったからびっくりしたよ。
You disappeared on me. Nearly gave me a heart attack. At this rate, you could say he's a pedophile, but at the same time, there could be a way to say he's not, because he could have visited the brothel as a doctor, and perhaps Hayato had to work there, so he was concerned, so he had to be a doctor there or something. Because the way he's acting, like, it's what Hayato needs, but I don't know if he's a pedophile or not.
先生が忙しそうだったから公園で遊んでようと思ったの。
You were busy, so I went to play at the park.
ちゃんと言わないとダメだって言っただろ?
I told you, you need to let me know first. Asakura scolded him gently, then glared at me.
君はどうしてここに?
What are you doing here? I held my sketch pad in a "do your eyes work" gesture. He frowned, hesitant.
絵を 描くのか？
You draw?
ああ、
Yeah.
ここで何を描いてたんだ？
What are you drawing here? I flipped the sketchpad open to the page I was just at. As Sakura sucked in a breath.
天使だ。
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Angels. He murmured quietly, his eyes glued to the drawing of Hayato.
天使
Angels. I repeated the word meaningfully, and he looked at me in surprise. Must have said it unconsciously. His eyes slowly sharpened, and panic set in. Without another word, he turned and started guiding Hayato away. Hayato frowned up at him, confused.
先生、お家に帰るの？
Doctor, are we going home?
先生の病院に帰るんだよ。
We're going back to the hospital.
そっか。お兄ちゃん、バイバイ。
Oh. Bye bye, mister.
He waved at me, then headed off with Asakura. As they retreated into the distance, I felt my suspicion turn to conviction. Asakura and Hayato were a catastrophic combination. But if Asakura didn't get help for his problem, it was Hayato who would pay the price. Especially if Asakura saw Hayato as his own personal angel. Something had to be done before he lost control. Slow damage. That night, I was lying on the sofa, staring at the ceiling and smoking a cigarette, when my phone buzzed. I sat up and grabbed it off the coffee table. Another one of those religious poems. You are the only one who can save me. I cannot bear it any longer, Heavenly Father. I beg of you, answer my prayer before it's too late. This time, the sender attached a file to the email. It was a photo of an angel doll. An ordinary Christmas tree ornament from the looks of it. But the wall was lying on a work desk with its wings torn out. Child. Angel. A desire to have my own personal angel. Those were his exact words. I rose to my feet and crushed my cigarette in the ashtray, then I pulled on my coat and stuffed my phone in my pocket. I recognized the desk in the photo. I left my apartment, took the elevator to the ground floor, and was on my way to the exit when Taku walked out from the waiting room. Apparently he had stayed late tonight.
こんな時間にどこへ行くんだ？
Where are you going at this time of night?
高野口医院
Takunokuchi Medical Office.
理由は？
What for?
朝倉からユーフォリア宛てにメールが来た。
Euphoria just got an email from Asakura.
朝倉先生から？どういうことだ？
From Dr. Asakura? What are you talking about?
今回が初めてじゃない。前から何通もだ。
This isn't the first one either. This isn't the first one either. He sent a bunch. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and showed him the email with the attachment. He frowned deviously.
どうしてこれが朝倉先生だと分かったんだ？
How do you know it's from him?
他にも判断材料がある。
Circumstantial evidence.
もし違ったらどうする？
What if you're wrong?
朝倉だ。
I'm not. It's him. He let out a conflicted sigh.
お前、足の怪我もまだ治ってないんだぞ。それでも一人で行く気なのか？
Your ankle hasn't fully healed, you know. You sure you want to go there alone?
ああ。
Yeah. Frankly, he knew better than to think he could stop me. His lips twisted in a defeated grimace.
分かった。終わったら連絡しろ。一線は越えるなよ。絶対に。
Alright, get in touch when it's over. And for God's sake, don't go too far. In other words, don't get yourself killed. I nodded my assent. Assent? Consent? Then left the building. Exhaling white fog, I looked up the pitch black sky. Asakura was now extremely emotionally volatile. He was so desperate for help he was grasping at straws. If I didn't take action, he might really clip an angel's wings. Oh my god, was that symbolism for taking... Oh, Jesus. And the perfect candidate was close at hand. In fact, he was probably with him right this very moment. Wait, could Euphoria truly save him? Or... If I head over now, I can still make it in time. Asakura's at Takunokuchi waiting for Euphoria. What the fuck are they still doing that at 1 a.m.? Front entrance at Takunokuchi Medical Office displayed a sign that read, "No more appointments available today." I looked at it for a long moment, then put my hands on the knob. Surprisingly enough, it opened. I thought they would be at his home, so I walked in. The main lights were all off, leaving only a faint illumination of the emergency lights. Moving quickly, I cut across the waiting room to the hallway. One of the doors had been left ajar, and the light was streaming out from within. I walked right up to it and peered inside. What? I could see a man in a lab coat standing beside a boy lying on an operating table. What the fuck? A silver tray was placed atop the utility cart beside him. In addition to the usual scalpel, forceps, and rubbing alcohol, I could see what looked like stainless steel rods. I vaguely recognized them from my last visit. Oh, haven't seen Toa with his hood on. I slowly entered the room and purposely shut the door loudly. Ooh, looks cool. The man in the lab coat flinched and rolled around. It was Asakura! Wow, who would have thought? On the operating table was none other than Hayato. You! His eyes widened in shock, his colorless lips trembling.
耐えられそうにないって。
Can't bear it any longer. As I quoted the email, confusion rose in his eyes.
そうか。君が。
Oh, I see. It's you.
結局、あんたの目的は子供なのか。
So you're after kids, is that it? Grimacing, Asakura bit his lip and looked at Hayato.
君も私が子供に手を出す人間だと思っているんだろう。村瀬からそう聞いたか。
So you think I'm a child molester too? Is that it? Is that what Murasei told you?
違うのか。
Are you saying you're not?
違う。少なくとも今この時までは。
No, I'm not. At least, not right now. He wrapped an arm around himself tightly.
自分でもよくわからないんだ。私は確かに子供が好きだ。心底可愛いと思う。だが手にかけたことは一度もない。
I don't entirely understand it myself, but I do like children. I sincerely find them cute, but I've never touched them in that way.
なのにあらぬ噂を流された。以前に勤務していた病院で同僚や患者の親御さんからそういう目で見られるようになって。
I don't understand where these baseless rumors got started, but then everyone at my old job started looking at me like I was a monster.
それで私はこの町へ逃げてきた。今度は同じことを繰り返さないようにしようと。
That's why I fled to the city.
誓ったのに。
Oh. That's why I fled to the city. I promised myself I wouldn't let the same thing happen again.
ダメだった。欲求を消し去ることができなかった。
But it happened anyway. I couldn't shake the desire I feel. He let out a shaky breath.
もう私にはわからないんだ。自分が子供に対してそういう感情を抱いてしまう人間なのか。
I just don't know anymore. Am I really attracted to children?
それとも疑われたせいで過剰に意識してしまっているだけなのか。
Oh. Or am I just paranoid because other people think I am? After he finished spilling his guts, he looked at me with pained eyes.
私は決して子供を傷つけたいとは思っていない。断じて。なのに私の心が求めるんだ。私だけの天使が欲しいと。
I don't want to hurt children. I promise you that. And yet, my heart yearns for an angel of my very own.
天使というのは精神的な話ではなく、本当に羽を生やしてみたいんだ。人間の背中に。
Speaking,
物理的に。
and I'm not speaking in the spiritual sense. I want to put wings on a human's back. Physically. He shot a sidelong glance at the stainless steel rods on his silver tray. Wings. Was I off base, or were the rods meant to serve as the framework for the wings? His lips twisted in a self-deprecating sneer.
ふざけた話だろ。本当にバカバカしい。稚拙な願望だ。それでもどうしても止められない。
Stupid, isn't it? Truly absurd. What an infantile desire to have. And yet, it seems I cannot stop myself. He had finally reached rock bottom. I looked at his face and profile.
だったらその子供は何なんだ。
So what are you planning to do to him?
これは
Well... Asakura looked at Hayato, lying there on the operating table, and faltered.
彼は確かに私の中の天使像に最も近い。天使は大体子供の姿をしているだろう。
He's probably a religious nut. I admit, he's the closest thing to my ideal angel. I mean, they're usually depicted as children, aren't they?
だが彼を傷つけたいわけじゃない。
But
だから
I don't want to hurt him. So...
羽を生やすのは別にそいつじゃなくてもいいってことか。
So you'll happily put wings on someone other than him?
ああ。
Yes.
俺にやれよ。
Then do it on me. He looked at me in utter confusion.
ユーフォリア宛てにメールしたのはその願望をどうにかしたかったんだろ。
You sent those emails to Euphoria because you wanted to do something about your desire, right?
まあそうだが。
Well, yes.
なら俺にやれ。俺ならあんたの望みを叶えてやれる。
Then do it to me. I can make your wish come true. His Adam Apple quavered as he swallowed. I stared quietly back at him, a faint smile playing at my lips.
俺があんたの天使になってやるよ。
I'll be your little angel. A breathy laugh left his lips, but his eyes were deadly serious. Apparently, he used anesthesia to put Ayato under. He scooped the sleeping boy into his arms and carried him out to a different room. I sat down on the exam table and waited. When he returned, he pulled the door shut and locked it.
なあ。
Hey. He looked back at me. Our eyes met.
話がしたい。
Let's talk. I gazed deep into his eyes as I spoke, low and soft.
あんたのこと聞かせろよ。
Tell me more about you. Asakura stared back at me as if entranced.
あんたのことが知りたい。
私の何が知りたいんだ。
Press him and make him admit his desire. Your desire. Spill it.
そんなこと。
No, I... Oh, I could get a bad end if I... Oh, no, no, no. But the bad end is basically you both. I'm not sure about both in this situation, but the bad end is that Toa dies. That's pretty much it. Okay, I need to piss so bad. I'm sorry. Take a look around. You think you can play dumb? Really? No, that's not it. Can I ask why you can't tell me? Some say they've seen you outside at a certain brothel over in District D. No! That's not true! You sure about that? Yes, I'm sure. I swear. I haven't... Or do you admit you're the target audience for that kind of content? No. No.
Yosh.
Hilarious. So this is the real you, huh?
そんなこと
I honestly don't know anymore. I don't know what's true or false. His smoke is still swaying.
なんでだ
So you insist you're not like that. Then why would you do this?
それは
Well...
Negative. Asakura.
It's fucked up. You know the truth and you want to say it, right? That's why I'm here. You get off on certain characteristics. Isn't that right? Get off? No!
ネガティブ。
The more you deny it, the more I'm starting to think it's true.
この傷跡。過ぎた子供好きの噂。子供が好きすぎるって噂は。
Well, a pedophile rumor.
それは私にもわからない。
About that, I honestly don't know. There's gotta
こ
be
の
more to
傷
it.
跡を。
Oh, it's the full painting. Or, no, it's a drawing. It's not a painting. Why are the angels kissing?
天使。天使にこだわりがあるのか。
天使。そうだな。
He's got nice tits. Real nice tits.
Hayato. どうしてハヤトを選んだ？
Why did you choose Hayato?
あの子は
He
寂しい子供なんだ。愛情にとても飢えていて。
He's a lonely kid starving for
だか
affection.
ら選んだというわけじゃない。ただ、
I didn't
私は
choose him. I
あの
just
子を放っておけなくて。
want to help him.
全部話すんだ。
That's it. Tell me everything.
自分の望み、本当の。
それから
The emails you sent me. Do you believe in God? God? God. Well, I admit, I'm desperate for someone to save me.
Negative. お前
Desperate enough to seek help from Euphoria? Same. I guess we're just both freaks is what he means.
無駄だな。
Just a minute. You and me, we're the same.
そうなのか。
The same? Are we really? You and I?
聞きたい。
Tell me what you desire.
Negative. 朝倉。
Or we can stop here and forget it happened. Well,
何？
is it really that immoral? Yes.
お前は
Why were you looking at the angel painting? Out of faith? or desire.
それは
Well,
ポジティブ。そうだよな。
they say angels are God's messengers, right? Were you desperate to talk to him? Perhaps that explains it. He's getting pretty emotional.
なあ、
When you saw my sketch of Hayato, you called him an angel.
あれは
Yes, well,
ネガティブ。それは
so you lust for him, is that it?
いや
No, I don't think so, honestly.
いいぜ。
Savior, an angel. I'll give you whatever it is you want. Right.
ネガティブ。いいんだ。
God, or your holy Savior, never abandons his lost sheep. He forgives all sins. Isn't that right? Oh,
許してくれるのか
you'll forgive me. Yeah, forget it. I lost interest and fell silent. Okay. Probably picked too many negatives.
あんたのことが。
ああ
ポジティブ。お前は。
You want me to help you?
無駄だな。
そう
聞きたい。ポジティブ。そうだよな。
This is why you called her me, right?
わからない
Yes, I suppose it is.
何？お前は。
それ
ネガティブ聞かせろ。
You weren't turned on by those angels, were you?
違う
No,
私は
no, I...
なあ。
あ
ポジティブ。確か
Angels? Is that what you're so hung up on? Nah, Hayato?
そうだ
Yes, exactly. I'm fairly sure.
に。いいぜ。ネガティブ。いいんだ。
Oh, whoa, we did it. Got
欲
this.
望の答えは
Your true desire.
過ぎた子供。
わからないんだ
Shit.
天使。天使が欲しい。そうだろ
You want
う。
an
自
angel,
分だ
right?
けの天使が。
An angel of your very own.
そうだ羽の生えた天使が 欲しい。ああ、全部わかった。もう迷う必要はない。天使、本当に私は私の望みは
An angel. After the conversation, I plucked the scalpel from the tray and offered it to Asakura.
ほら、
Here. He stared back at me in bewilderment.
やれよ。
Do it.
作るんだろ、天使。
You're gonna make me your angel, remember. He swallowed loudly, then, with trembling fingers, he accepted the scalpel. But he still looked perplexed, so I pulled off my coat and shirt, baring my torso. His eyes winced at the sight of the innumerable scars snaking over my skin. Just getting out my floss.
なんだよ。
What? It was precisely the reaction I expected. I fixed him with a pointed smile.
その傷跡は
You have so many scars.
趣味だ。
It's...
君は狂ってる。
You're sick. Squeezing his eyes shut, he forced the words out of the back of his throat.
そして狂ってるのは私もだ。
Speaking of sick people, so am I. As he spoke, he set the scalpel back on his tray. Then he pulled a pair of light-textured gloves from his coat pocket and pulled them on. He was visibly nervous, and yet the motion came to him naturally. Meanwhile, I laid face down on the exam table. Oh, how did he get those scars? They're huge. With his gloved hands, Asakura picked up the scalpel once more. Why is gore allowed on YouTube? Let me Google that. Oh, I have to censor this.
本当にいいんだな。
You're really sure about this?
ああ、
Yeah. I nodded, then waited quietly for the prick of his tiny blade. What the fuck? A sharp pointed pain ran down the side of my right shoulder blade. Slowly but surely, the pain took on a depth and a heat. I could hear something wet. Blood, probably. The visceral pain of pierced flesh made me grit my teeth and grunt. But I kind of enjoyed this intense, electrifying sort of pain. I buried my face in my arms, tortured yet fulfilled. At long last, he had taken the first steps towards his desire. I could tell he was excited from his labored breathing. He pulled his hand away from the incision on my right shoulder blade. Then the same pain ran through my left. While the cut on my right side was still throbbing hotly, a fresh pain cried out. I could feel sweat beading on my forehead and my nails clawed at the table. I was gritting my teeth so tightly I thought my molars might shatter. It was agony, my ears were ringing and I felt dizzy. I squeezed my eyes shut. Behind my eyelids, my vision went white. The familiar stench of blood stung my nostrils. The sticky wetness slithered across my back as Asakura panted somewhere above me. I opened my eye a crack and saw that my hands had gone white. At last. I've come so far. Asakura let out an impassioned sigh. Apparently, we had finished the first stage.
Can't show that in a Christian manga.
I had to censor that a bit more.
Sorry.
As he sliced my back open, I forced my head sideways so I could look at him. His bloodied hand set the scalpel back on the tray and grabbed a rod. Sure enough, the rods were some sort of skeleton for the wings. He must have designed them himself. They seemed kind of chintzy, but maybe all that mattered was the process of creating an angel. Sakura grabbed the rubbing alcohol and applied a healthy amount to the rod.
Yeah, don't want to give him an infection. Safety first.
With the tip pointed at my back, he smiled quietly, barely suppressing his excitement. He was looking at me, but he wasn't really seeing me anymore. Start from the right. As he muttered, he brought the stainless steel bone to my right shoulder blade. A new pain wedged itself deep into the incision as the tip slowly sank into my bloody flesh. The pain forced a grunt out of me. Then my body stiffened and started to shake, and as I shifted my focus to that, I realized the numbing process that had already begun. With the base of the right wing implanted in my shoulder, I next felt the prick of a needle against the surface of my skin. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. Oh. I had like a biopsy before, like you're numbed out, but just the feeling. Over time, as the tiny pinches continued one after another, they grew more and more painful. If I had to guess, he was probably sewing me up to hold the wing in place. Needle and thread, in and out, in and out. Sorry, I think you can... Sorry, I think you can hear me floss my teeth. My bad. The white thread looks so beautiful, stained red with blood. As if in a trance, Asakura murmured to himself as he worked. Each time he pulled the thread taut, I felt my blood run cold, followed by a searing heat. I heard the snip of scissors, then the sewing came to an end. Lately, he wiggled the wing. Jesus Christ. How are we gonna take this out, bro? How are we gonna remove this? What the fuck? This is crazy. I don't know, you can like probably Google the CG. This is fucking crazy. Lately, he wiggled the wing. It wobbled erratically, but the stitches held it securely in place. Yeah, this is crazy. Yes, this is perfect. Perfect! Beautiful. Enthralled by his success with the right wing, he grabbed another rod. No, then. Here we go again. He whispered. His whisper was almost seductive. Then a sharp pain pierced my left shoulder blade. It was more intense than the first time, and it made me grimace. He let out a rapturous sigh as he stabbed the wing bone into my shoulder. It felt like he was searching for the perfect spot. Probably right after the shoulder blade would be a good spot. As the tip ravaged my wound, I broke out in a full body sweat. The pain of birth directly correlates to the beauty of life. Stab, stab, stab. Asakura jostled the wing bone again and again, mercilessly assaulting my tender flesh. Squeezed my eyes shut against the rush of pain, and a memory rose to mind. A time when I was essentially gang raped. What? Jesus. It was the same feeling of being forced open wider than I was accustomed to. What? Nevertheless, my flesh slowly adapted to the penetration all the same. Jesus Christ, Toa. This time, however, the intruder wasn't seeking carnal pleasure. He was forcing something cold and hard into my wounds. But no matter how he ravaged them, my body would never fully accept the foreign objects. Still, I couldn't help but picture it. What if I spent the rest of my life with stainless steel wings? It was kind of fun to think about. Now to sew up your wings. That way, you'll be able to fly freely in the sky. Muttering under his breath, Asakura set about his next task. A long, thin needle nipped at my skin, pulling the thread through, followed by more searing pain. Like with my right shoulder, it repeated again and again until I heard a snip. Then he let out a slow, deep breath.
とうとうついに生み出したんだこの手で
At long last, I've crafted it with my own 2 hands. His quavering voice nearly cracked. Then I heard the restless sound of tools clattering back to the tray.
私だけの天使
An angel of my very own. It felt like red-hot iron plates were being pressed to every inch of my skin. Everything was hot and tingly. The warm wetness I felt all over my body was probably some combination of blood and sweat. I couldn't think straight. I lifted my head and saw Asakura standing there, bewitched. His lips were curled in a delayed smile as he admired the makeshift angel wings. Personally, I had no idea what it looked like.
そんなにいいのかよ
That good, huh? I tried to smile, but my lips were chapped, and the movement made them split. My voice was hoarse too, probably from all the groaning during the surgery.
とてもいいとても美しいよ
Yes, it's marvelous. Breathtaking. As he spoke, he glanced around searching for something. But whatever he sought, he failed to find. Disappointed, he pulled off his bloody latex gloves, then took his phone out of his pocket. I heard the sound of a camera shutter, then he showed me his phone screen. Jesus Christ. Everyone has their own interesting desires, huh? Everybody's so creative. Wow. It was hard to describe how the image made me feel. It was my own back, covered in blood and scars, with mangled metal jutting up from inside. Frankly, it was such a mess, I couldn't tell they were wings at all. But Asakura was obsessed with the idea of crafting an angel with his own hands. Dozens of red stitches gathered at the base of the wings, where my skin puffed up from the newer additions. Crimson blood paired with the deep scarlet of my inner flesh. The photo had captured an entire palette of colors. The beauty of the grotesque. This was more than enough inspiration for Euphoria. I really want to see the painting he makes from this. Enduring the growing pain and obsession, I laughed weakly. As my consciousness started to fade, I could feel a palpable sense of accomplishment. At long last, I have created an angel of my very own. How beautiful. Truly exquisite. In this moment, I am euphoric. Oh, we did it! Yay! After the surgery, Asakura gazed at the photo on his phone for a long time, then staggered out of the medical ward. Just gonna fucking leave him here? And let him die? Fucking asshole. Hand shaking, I reached down and grabbed my coat off the floor. Then I retrieved my phone from my pocket and called Taku. Taku! Help me! Taku ran into the operating room. As soon as he saw me, he froze in his tracks. When I told him about Hayato, he ran back out, then returned carrying the boy in his arms. Hayato had only just awoken, and he didn't seem to understand what had happened. He clung to Taku with one hand. Taku looked back at him sadly. He laid Hayato down on a different medical bed, then set about removing the wings from my back. He cut through the stitches, carefully extracted the metal rods, then pressed a towel to my blood-soaked back. Then he put my arm around his shoulders and slowly sat me up. After the pain and blood loss, I was barely conscious. Nevertheless, with Taku's support, I made it out of the building and into his car. What about the kid? Not sure what happened after that. The next thing I knew, I was lying in bed on my stomach, and Taku was standing beside me. You okay? He crouched down to get a look at my face. How was your pain level? Not bad. My thoughts were fuzzy and my speech was slurred. Then the anesthesia must be working. I stitched you up as soon as we came home. Remember that? No. Taku sighed and looked at me, exhausted yet relieved. Oh, that's what those scars was. You drive me crazy, you know that? This is the second time I've had to sew your back up. The first time was when you were a kid. I was hoping to prevent any new scars from forming, but I don't think you'll be so lucky this time. You've seen my body. What do I care about a couple more? At this, he shook his head with a hard frown. Your scars could have turned out a lot worse than they are. Please don't add any more. Consider it a formal request from Doctor the patient. As he spoke, he looked away as if he could finally relax. Honestly, when I saw you lying there covered in blood, I thought my heart would stop.
お前が怪我した時のことを思い出して、本当にショックだった。
It reminded me of the time he got hurt way back when. It was really hard for me. He pursed his lips together. What happened to Hayato and Asakura?
隼人君は本土の児童シェルターで預かってもらうことになった。どうも母親に問題がありそうだったからな。
Hayato-kun's been sent to a children's shelter on the mainland. Evidently, his mother got a poor track record.
朝倉はスタッフルームの片隅で座り込んでいるところを発見されたそうだ。
I heard Asakura was discovered sitting in the corner of the staff room.
極度の心神耗弱状態だと判断されて、新興民総合病院に入院した。
They determined that he was extremely mentally unstable and sent him to the Shinkomi General Hospital. After he achieved his goal of creating his own personal angel, he probably turned into an empty husk. What would happen to Asakura from here? I would probably never know. Would he try to move past it, like Hikuino, or would he fall to rock bottom? It was his choice to make. Chapter 2. Doctor. Oh, it's over. Well, that was crazy. That was nuts. Okay. I'm calling it there for a night because I am sleepy. Perfect time to end if you ask me. Yep. Ciao, ciao. For now.